Hello, good evening and welcome to Wales. It's Halloween night and our final night of an unprecedented 7 nights of Most Haunted Live. Stay with us as we're about to cleanse the village of the damned of the horrors that we have experienced, all of which we have raised over the last 6 nights.
Rooted to the spot.
The proper mask on your face, alright?
Satan, Lord of Darkness, ruler of the underworld.
I've been dragged into that room.
Bring these spirits into the room, please. Use this energy now. Use the energy. Concentrate. Say your name again, Robert. Say your name again.
Oh! Hey!
The person is Paul Ross. I'll shut you in.
Okay.
Right? And then just bang very loudly and scream if you need to come out. And then I'll ask for things to happen to you. Throw something! Come on, do something!
Somebody just tapped the top of my right foot. There's something on this side of this room, of this whatever they call it, freezer.
Do you want to come out now?
Yeah, let me out now, please.
Jesus!
Christ!
Please, can you do something?
Say again? You can hear stuff underneath that stage.
Somebody just pushed it underneath. You alright?
Yeah.
Got stuff happening. Be back. Quick.
Saw a pair of feet there and I looked up and there was no head and I went back down and there was no feet.
Oh, Carl, what's the matter?
Crying out loud. I swear something pushed me then.
Susan!
Holy crap! Brilliant, I've got to go and check it out. Oh! She was the witch that liked to eat babies. Come on, you bitch. Come on forward. We're not scared of you in any way. You all right, Brian? Take it off Carl now.
It's like there's a belt and it's tightening on me.
Sweetheart, I'm on my way.
Is that okay, sweetie? Right, just... Oh, you're shaking.
We are the witches back from the dead. We're just in the car. What's that? Is that you? Hey? What was that?
There's a stamping sound.
Did you hear that? Welcome to the final night of our 7-night Halloween Live, a truly groundbreaking set of investigations here in Wales. In this place, we have dubbed the Village of the Damned. Once it housed nearly 2,000 people, but it is said they were not alone. It is claimed they shared this place with all kinds of phantoms of nightmare, including witches and demons. Whatever the claims, tonight we intend to lay rest whatever ghosts that cling to this amazing, forlorn, forsaken place and bring them to the light. But before I reveal any more about our hopes and fears for the resolution of this incredible investigation, let me introduce you to the 2 gentlemen who will be guiding you through our coming adventures, Mr. Paul Ross and Julian Clegg.
Seven nights, what
a journey, and it's going to climax tonight because we are bringing together so many of the different elements from the previous night's investigations.
It's going to be a fantastic night tonight. A couple of surprises in store, especially for our audience.
Because for the first time the audience are at the heart of the vigil, heart of the investigation. I think you're kicking off with something among the audience tonight.
No, not kicking off. I'm going to surprise you.
Oh.
Even you. Look at their faces, fantastic.
On Interactive, everyone's worried about you after last night because you're very upset. That's quite unusual, to say the least, and they want to know you're okay.
I was feeling so brave. I was doing it for the girls. I was thinking, yeah, us girls can do this. We're fine. And then I heard a footstep, and it was as clear as anything to me. And I heard a rustle. I thought something is in the room with me. And then I was singing, and I had my earpiece in, and I was going, please, somebody talk to me. No voice, no nothing. I thought, I'm on my own. And then I freaked badly. Really ashamed of myself.
Thank goodness Carl and the team were there, and you seem fine now. You sit tight for a moment. I should say last night the programme ended early through no fault of our own. It was not our responsibility, but tonight is going to be an absolutely amazing climax for Halloween, with you all the way to the witching hour. Julian, what's in store for us in the next hour?
Right, well, on the way, we're going to be talking to Yvette and Carl, a moment of the show I know you love, and a bit more about where we are. Yes, an abandoned mental asylum. The building's in a dilapidated state. The roofs are literally open to the elements. So this week we've had hail, snow, the whole lot thrown on us. So we've got a great hour coming up between now and the main investigation at 9 o'clock. So it's time to dim the lights, grab a cup of coffee, hide behind a cushion, and this is what's coming up.
Well, one of the problems we've got with Most Haunted Live, certainly this one, is because of the credit crunch and the global credit crunch we've had. A lot of people think that I just turn up and do an investigation and go home. They don't realise that certainly in this one, I have actually had to do everything. I've cooked all the food. I'm ready.
We tend to dress up and do a fancy dress Halloween. It just brings a different element to it. A lot of the people that come to the party are Most Haunted fans as well.
There is a suggestion around the building itself, but something's being, it's almost as though something's being kept at bay outside.
And we are so excited about tonight's show, also so scared about tonight's show. It's on the air right the way till to midnight here on Living. Now it's time to welcome our Halloween heroes of horror. Yes, Yvette Fielding and Carl Beattie! You like that? Good to see you both. Last night, I mean, we mentioned just a few moments ago, I mean, it was a very emotional night for you.
Yeah, it was a bit like sort of wetting yourself in public afterwards and feeling very embarrassed about, you know, your emotional state. It was just a really frightening time, sort of being sort of concealed in this thing, this box, and you couldn't move, you couldn't see anything, and hearing footsteps near you, knowing that somebody was close was terrifying. And then when I got back to the Ouija board where Kath was, I discovered that she'd been crying at the same time, and it was a bit emotional.
Actually, I was talking to a member of the crew who was saying that they were watching the show and it made them tearful just watching it happening.
Oh, Fee, yeah.
Yeah,
yes,
she was saying that, wasn't she?
Yes,
Yeah, so there you are. Carl, I mean, the other thing about this is when you're apart and that kind of thing happens, and we had this moment where you were running to be with each other at one point. That's difficult because you're married, you know each other so well. Yeah. Apparently so. Does that make it worse?
Yeah, because it changes the direction for me of the investigation. It stops being an investigation for me then, and I just want to. I don't obviously want to see my wife upset, and because she is the most important thing in my life, I can't. No, it is, and the trouble is when you hear that and someone said she's crying, you just think I've got to stop that straight away. Yeah. And it does. It really makes you think about what we're doing and the fear. When I was in there, I heard people in there. And that's why I kept shouting, "Can the webcam see any people in here?" Because there was somebody in there with me. And when you went there, that's exactly what you felt. And it's horrible. It's scary.
It's like forget the show. How's Yvette? How's Carl? That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. The other thing I've noticed this week is that the site's really big. I mean, we spoke about this when I first arrived. Is it going to be big enough for the whole 7 nights? My goodness. I mean, scratch the surface, really.
Yeah.
You could do a year here. You could do every single day for a year and still not complete it.
Yeah.
Yvette, I love the fact the audience have been involved. I know they've loved it too, and it's been really important, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Carl and I have sort of every night we've been planning this for a long time, but we've really, I don't know what's happened, but all of a sudden we've come out with some new ideas. We've been
brilliant.
researching into books and really sort of thinking about you guys, and you know, it's about you and what you would like and what you would like to be experienced. Because at the end of the day, I think most of you would like to go on an investigation, wouldn't you? And yeah, so that's what it's about. So that's where our thinking is going.
And once again, the show's taken over people's lives at home. I'm just looking at some messages here. Alma and Steve celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary tonight with the Most Haunted Live party.
Oh, how
See what I mean?
lovely.
Isn't that nice?
Happy 50th.
Isn't that
Happy
nice?
50th,
Yeah,
yeah.
brilliant, brilliant. Now, for tonight's surprises, don't give too much away, but what do you think?
Yeah, there are a few. We're starting the show. We've never started a Most Haunted Live like this before. Shall I say? Not in too much detail. We're separated. We're completely on our own, which is a bit strange. And we have a certain guest that's going to stand in the middle of the audience and help. And he looks very spooky.
So wait till 9 o'clock
Yeah.
to find out more what's happening. Yeah, now, talking of 9 o'clock, tomorrow night, your new show.
Yes. I'm going to be at home with my pyjamas on, with a big bottle of wine, watching it.
I was going to ask how you're going to watch it.
Yeah.
So you will be watching it. Everyone else will too. Let's have a quick clip from the show. Here we go.
Do you know this is the longest time we've been apart? I think since we've been married.
Really?
Yeah.
When I think about being on my own for 10 days or however long it is, it makes me think, my God, what would I do without him? And then I get myself, you know, all emotional and everything.
So make sure you catch that tomorrow night here on Living with Yvette and Carl. It's going to be a good show, believe me. I don't know, I think I'll make a quick appearance, don't I?
I think you do,
Yeah,
Julie. Yes, you do.
You do everywhere.
Yeah. Now, look, as you can see, we've been joined on stage by the rest of the investigation team. Give it up for Stuart, for Brian, for Kath, for Kieran. So, quick thought. I mean, Brian, we're going to be talking later on in the show, but how's it been for you over the last 6 nights?
It's just been fantastic. I mean, I was taking on board what you're saying just now about the 7 nights, frankly, and if you stopped and thought about that at the beginning of this, you think, 7 nights, a long time. But it has, hasn't it? It's just scratched it. Look at the place, it's vast. There's so much to investigate. It's incredible.
Exactly. And Kieran, you seem to have a new bit of kit every night, including the Tesla machine. And all
Yes,
that. It's great, isn't it?
Would you look at the size of his bum?
Give us a 12. Look at all that kit.
Huge bum.
And none of it works.
I have to have all of this stuff because there's so much that happens. You know, when people are reporting temperature drops, tickling on the top of the heads, even the emotion, you know, there could be some environmental explanation for what's going on. So I need to have this many gadgets, unfortunately.
What about last night and all the coughing? And actually, I noticed people were coughing in the audience as well, so I just don't know if you knew that. Yes, they were. What do you make of all that?
Well, it was interesting that it started with just the three of them, Carl, Brian and Stuart. But when we went into that other room and they were coughing, they had this really bad coughing fit, we moved the camera around. Chris had tickling, I had tickling. So it could have been dust, but then how do you explain the three of them reacting so intensely? It's very difficult to explain.
Well, we could always rely on you to put a scientific spin on all this. Yeah, now, let's go to the phones and say hello to Lisa in Nottingham. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm really well. Tonight's the big night. Have you got the lights down and everything?
Oh yeah, we've been having lots of fun already, so we're really looking forward to tonight.
Good. Now, what's your question?
My question is, if there was any celebrity you could take with you on a vigil, who would it be and why?
Yvette.
Well, I'd take two. I think I have to take Paul O'Grady, obviously, and then I have to take Alan Carr, who has a friend called Pete the Poltergeist. And he's, you know, I've got to take Pete the Poltergeist with me. He's just so funny.
What a show that would be.
That would be a brilliant show,
Really
yeah.
good,
They're really into it. They're really good ghost hunters as well.
Evening, gentlemen. Now, Carl, what about you?
For me, it'd have to be living. It'd have to be Stephen Fry. I think he's a genius, and I've been very fortunate to speak to him twice in the past. But I would love to have him on one of our investigations because I love the man. I hang on every one of his words.
This is the new series, isn't it? Brian, what about you?
Well, if it's dead, it would be Elvis, definitely.
Yeah?
I think, yeah, absolutely, you know.
Uh-huh.
We've is there anything
Very good, Brian. Who's going there, mate?
It'll actually look like you getting stabbed when you go.
Oh, yeah, with the
yeah, enough of that.
Thank you, Kieran.
If you had asked me last week, I would have said the greatest scientist, Albert Einstein. But after this week, I'd say Tesla.
Yes.
I'd love to have him here.
Right, well, shall we take a question from the audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go for it. And head out there and say hello to Sam from Connors Quay, who's got a wonderful headgear on tonight. It's really good. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
Now, what's your question?
As it's Halloween, which trick and which treat would you like give to each other?
Yvette.
Blimey, which trick? Oh, wedgies. You can't go wrong with a good wedgie, especially in the dark, can you? And then my treat would have to be a huge vat of alcohol after we finish the investigation. You can't go wrong with that.
Carl, what about you?
That is a very good question because I think I'm stumped for the first time ever. Treats is easy, just to just to be rubbed up with lard, really. But I guess trick. That's both for me. No, a trick will probably be something to do with Kieran, and in some way getting some voice inside his head that he actually thinks is his spirit guide. So every time he talks, he'll be going, no, yes, of course.
Sam, what about you?
Oh, I don't know, no idea.
Perhaps that headgear?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? Well, let's give Sam a round of applause. Well done, Sam. So, it's a busy night, guys, tonight, so I'm going to let you go off and prepare. Are you a bit nervous?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought you might be.
What about Kath? She's always nervous.
Are you nervous, Kath?
She hasn't got a microphone on, so just nod. Yeah.
Kath, are you nervous, Stuart? Just nod. Yes. Well, look, have a good night tonight. It's the big one tonight, so look, I wish you well. Yvette, Carl, Brian, Kieran, Stuart, Kath, have a good evening. I'll let you go off now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant.
Thank you.
So the investigation team are making their way to another location in this former mental asylum. We've had 6 great shows so far. What is going to happen tonight? We will find out at 9 o'clock tonight here on Living. Make sure you keep it right there. Now, I want you to get interactive. You've already been sending your messages. Thank you so much for this. And if you want to get in touch, send me a text. Go to the website. Let me tell you how you do it. You can text 80889. Plus, of course, a space and then your message and your name and where you're from, very importantly. And the text costs 50p plus 1 standard rate message. And you can go to the website, mosthauntedlive.net. That's where the webcams are, that's where the interactive map is, and you can send messages there as well. So if you're having a Most Haunted Live party, I want to hear about it. If something strange is happening at home, your pets are watching the show and doing something unusual, or of course you see anything on the screen, on the show, let me know. Now, our prize, fabulous prize for Most Haunted Live 2008, the Halloween special. I have got a ghost hunting experience for you, courtesy of Virgin Experience Days, to give away. You can choose the location from their list of locations around the UK, maybe the nearest to you or the furthest from you, we don't mind. We'll also throw in transport, standard rail, return fare, and first-class bed and breakfast accommodation. You'll get psychic experiments going on this ghost hunting experience, and there'll be resonance experiments, all that kind of thing going on. So if you fancy doing that, that is part of the prize. We're also going to throw in tickets for the next Most Haunted Live UK event, priority tickets, and you'll walk off with a new series of Most Haunted, Series 10 on DVD, which is out next week. And runners-up, by the way, walk off with the tickets as well, and the DVD. No rail return fare included in that part of the prize, by the way. So if you'd like to win, here is the question. Our last event, our last Most Haunted Live in London, was it called A, Total Darkness, or B, Complete Blackness, or C, Turn Off the Lights? You can enter now by going to mosthauntedlive.net, and once this Most Haunted Live ends tonight, it's still open on the Living website, livingtv.co.uk/competitions. The competition will close at midnight on November the 7th this year. You must be over 18, by the way, to enter this competition, and remember to leave your name and where you're from and your details so we can get in touch if you win. And the winners will be selected at random, informed later in the week, and you'll be able to see a list of the winners' names on the Living website. So good luck, and I look forward to seeing you at the next Most Haunted Live UK event. Now, this show is all about you at home and getting interactive with us, and with me tonight, I'm delighted to say the return of my left-hand man on interactive is Stuart! Give him a round of applause! Good to see you, mate. And, well, the last 6 nights have been amazing. And what's been the sort of trend and the theme of the last 6 nights?
Well, we've learnt a lot, Julian. We've really learnt a lot. And most importantly, personally, I've noticed, or I've learnt, that if you're going to come away from home for 7 days, you really should pack a razor and maybe an iron. Otherwise, come back at 7, you might look a little bit dishevelled. But no, we've learnt a lot. And the themes of the week, well, dogs and wolves have really popped up a lot, which has been interesting. And also white figures or mysterious white forms, which a lot of people have interpreted as nurses.
That's interesting. And also, they've liked the Tesla, they like the voodoo experiment, all those kind of things.
Everything we've done has really provoked a huge reaction on the forums and everything else. And actually, while I'm on the subject of the forums, I should say thank you to everyone there on the forums who's made me feel so welcome. They know who they are. And it's been really good.
Right, well, look, Stuart, it's going to be another great night tonight. We want people to get in touch. Thank you very much indeed. Stuart from Interactive! Let's keep him and Susanna and Kirsty busy, please, through the evening. More to come from Interactive and more to come from Most Haunted Live, Village of the Damned. We're going away for a few short minutes, but we'll be back very, very shortly. Don't go away.
Well, one of the problems we've got with Most Haunted Live, certainly this one, is because of the credit crunch and the global credit crunch we've had. A lot of people think that I just turn up and do an investigation and go home. They don't realise that certainly in this one, I have actually had to do everything. I've cooked all the food. I'm ready.
Welcome back to Most Haunted Live, the Halloween special between now and midnight. At 9 here on Living, the investigation begins, and between now and 9 a lot more to come, including, well, someone in the audience is going on the investigation tonight. It could be a couple of people I'm about to meet, because the audience members who want to go on the investigations have brought their pumpkins with them. Shall we meet them? Let's go for it. So if you bought a pumpkin, hold it up right now, please. And give a round of applause to all the pumpkin people. A lot of work has actually gone into doing all that, so I'm really impressed. Kieran is here. Lovely to see you, Kieran.
Nice to see you.
We were having a chat earlier, all the way from Dublin, but you've been over here for a few years, haven't you?
Yes, quite a few years.
Yeah. Now, tell me about your pumpkin.
Well, it seemed like a very good idea at the time. I was in my friend Laura's kitchen and we said, well, what can we do? And she said, why don't we do something scary with an axe and some blood? And I thought, yeah, really good idea.
What, is the blood paint or ketchup?
No, it's her nail varnish. She's quite trashy. She wears really bad makeup. So this red nail varnish is hers. But yeah, but it just seems to scare everybody. Yeah. And people are getting the wrong idea. They think it's a bit psychotic. But
that's good. If you went out on the investigation tonight, would you be scared or happy? Everyone else all week has said they'd be happy. What about you?
I think the initial feeling would be happiness, but I'm quite sure from being here, fear would creep in very, very quickly. Yeah. It is very scary and very, very cold. Very cold. Well, so it's always a good sign, isn't it, if it's cold? Yeah,
it's got all the atmosphere, isn't it? Well, good luck, Kieran. It could be you, could be anyone in the audience with a pumpkin tonight, so we'll see what happens. Now let's meet our next pumpkin person. Hello.
How are you doing?
Hi, mate. It's Nick, isn't it?
Lee.
Lee, let's get that right. Hi, Lee. So tell me about your pumpkin.
Well, it's getting a bit dishevelled at the moment because the candle inside's made it a bit dry out. But when it is lit, it does look quite well. It did take a while
sick
to
pumpkin.
Do. Well, yeah, it's a poorly pumpkin.
And if you get chosen, how will you feel about it if you go on the investigation?
A bit apprehensive, but I'm fine.
Right, well, look, good luck. It could be you. It could be you, Kieran, all right?
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, eh? So thank you very much indeed to Lee and to Kieran and to all our pumpkin carvers. So now we'll find out who that audience member is a little bit later on in the show. Now the credit crunch is very much upon us, so whether you're having problems with buying food or selling your house or whatever, think of poor old Carl Beattie. It's very sad. Look at this.
Well, one of the problems we've got with Most Haunted Live, certainly this one, is because of the credit crunch and the global credit crunch we've had. A lot of people think that I just turn up and do an investigation and go home. They don't realise that certainly in this one, I have actually had to do everything. I've cooked all the food. I'm ready. This is cheesecake. Now, I made this earlier today, and you'll see just how beautiful that is. Look, that is the perfect cheesecake. I'm an extremely lucky person because I seem to be just brilliant at everything. There doesn't seem to be anything I can't do. Everyone who sees what I do say, Crumb, that's fantastic.
Oh, can I have a cup of tea? I'm freezing.
Tea?
Yes.
Do you know what time I got up this morning?
No.
Tea? I'll get you tea. Oh, I'll get you tea. Get your tea. And have a courgette. Brushing, I can brush anything clean. Anything clean. I could brush the marble strokes out of marble. I can recycle this water. I put it into one main vat and we boil it up a bit. I mean, sometimes it doesn't always get to boiling point, but we kind of heat it up. And tea bags in, no one tells the difference. It's a great use of resources. See, a pen. See, I can sell that. More money for the budget. That's another, what, 4 or 5 pence? Superb. Unfortunately, the rest of the investigation team are very, very lazy. They finish here around sort of midnight, obviously, and they get the big chauffeured limousines to go home. I usually walk because there's just not the petrol. Come on, pumpkins. See, I thought, okay, because I need to feed a lot of people. Pumpkin soup, pumpkin pie, everything. Do a pumpkin competition. Everyone will bring me 3 pumpkins. I can take these away, I melt them down, mush them in, take my shoes and socks off, give them a good old stamp. I can make soup. Pumpkin soup.
Just going to try and break into the site. I believe there's some... Is it Coronation Street?
Yeah, this is the truck you want.
Fantastic.
That's
the famous people on there?
Not on this, you're on the wrong site.
Oh, right.
That's got a lot of equipment and you'll need to break into that one. Easiest to get into the side, yeah, and on the front there, okay?
Oh,
just back
maybe
as
we
close
pay
as
for
you
our
can.
parking?
Just at the front, I'll be at the front, and I'll direct you out, okay? Thank you.
Thanks, very helpful.
Let me just sort over Tango Foxtrot, Foxtrot 00, Foxtrot 1246. See, sorted. That is a problem that needed me. It's now sorted. That's what I'm here for. I don't have problems, I give solutions.
Yeah, the ever-resourceful Carl Beattie trying to beat the credit crunch there. Thank you for your messages coming in. I ought to mention in Wrexham, Claire, Jane and friends having a most haunted Halloween party tonight. They've got the candles burning in the fireplace, getting ready for the show. They wish the team good luck and they think something really special and unforgettable is going to happen tonight. Be safe, they say. Thank you for all those kind messages. Brilliant. Now, time to meet the captain of the ship and the historian of the ship. Yes, it's Paul Ross, Leslie Smith. I also am very worried about Paul tonight because he's forgotten his thermals.
Yes, I forgot my little $7.99 50% $8 vest, although vests are available at Primark and Matalan.
Yes, and other outlets.
Yes.
Yes, so they get too cold.
It is chilly. Well, I'm all right from the waist down. I've got my spare pair of black jeans under me posh suits, but nothing on the top apart from my shirt, so it can be very chilly tonight.
Right, Leslie, wrapped up warm?
Yeah. What Paul's wearing is an early form of contraceptive, though. It is, we are wrapped up warm and we need to be, because it is really bitter here. It's not changed.
It's family show, Leslie. So tonight, coming up, well, let's just do last night first of all.
Yeah.
And Yvette being so upset, which is really unusual. I've done so many shows now, but it's quite rare to see her in tears.
Particularly when she went in that positive. She volunteered to go in. It was that sort of sensory deprivation zone. Kath was going to go in, and Kath said no. And Kath was also deeply affected. I saw Kath after the show, and she was not only feeling physically ill, was absolutely in tears. It was actually quite scary.
What do you think, Leslie?
I've been with them a great deal in investigating as well, and it is rare. But I don't think one ever comes to terms with how overwhelming the fear can be and how knocked about. Because we're all animals, you know, and it comes over you. And I could see that Yvette was overwhelmed, and darling Kath as well, very upset.
Yeah. And our audience member who went out on the vigil last night, Teresa, really got a couple of shocks last night. So whoever gets chosen tonight, good luck, you're going to need it.
Yeah, now let's talk a bit more about tonight. There's lots of things under wraps for the show between now and midnight, but it's going to be, including things, Paul, that we don't know about, apparently.
No, after the Tuesday night experience, it's always very worrying. But if it has let slip that they're going to start the investigation tonight separate for the first time ever in Most Haunted Live history, even Kath will be on her own tonight.
Yes, that should be interesting. And Leslie, the history for this evening, what have you been looking into?
some of the information that is of the events that are going to happen tonight have been kept from me as well, which is worrying too. But certainly the history of tonight is going to be particularly interesting for me because of some of the scientific issues. So Kieran and I are sort of holding hands a bit in the sense that I do the medical history, and of course some of that includes some of the science side, and all will be revealed.
Right, quick thought as it's our last show, Wales, been brilliant. North Wales, the whole area around here,
I must say, North Wales is my favourite part of the United Kingdom, apart from where I live. It is absolutely spectacular. And if you've never been to North Wales, I urge you to come here. It is like New Zealand meets Switzerland meets... It's just beautiful, beyond belief. A stunning part of the world.
Snow on the hilltops at the moment.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And Llangollen and Denbigh and Ruthin and all the places around us are absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Leslie?
And the people have been enchanting in themselves, coming up and being so affectionate and willing us on.
Cannot understand a blinking word they say, but they're so affectionate.
Right, let's get to the phones. Thank you for your suggestions for questions. And Claire is in Liverpool. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
There's a lot of people from Liverpool in the audience tonight, by the way, just to say. So, Claire, are you watching the show on your own or with friends?
We are with friends. We're having a most haunted party.
Good, good. So have a good night tonight. Now, what's your question?
My question's to Paul and Leslie. Which individual person in history would you not like to meet on Halloween?
You mean apart from Russell Brand?
Got it in there.
I would say, I mean, there are the obvious evil lords like Stalin and Hitler and Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun. I don't think I'd like to meet, well, it's an obvious one again, but whoever was actually Jack the Ripper, I'd want to swerve on Halloween, I think, because of course the murders started 1888, 120 years ago this year in August, and continued till October. So some clairvoyants and some mediums say his spirit is most active around this time, so I'd hate to meet Jack.
And Leslie, what about you?
Dr. John Dee, he was Elizabeth I's black magician, and he was a real magician. And there was very much about his work that I've read that is spine-tingling. If you don't know who he is, go and find him. He's mind-blowing. So he's the person some would say they'd most like to be with, but not me. I'd be too frightened.
And as ever, an interesting, unusual choice there, Leslie.
Well, also, you're not a big fan of Aleister Crowley, are you, the Master of the Black Arts?
Oh, and who is?
No.
He's absolutely terrifying. Did you say have an unusual choice?
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
No, I mean that.
No, what I mean
interesting
is...
historical perspective.
Yes, it is. I hope so, because I'm trying to encourage people to look beyond and think beyond. That's right.
Now, let's go out to the audience and meet some people, shall we? Stay there. Let's go off and say hello to Susan, who is, I think, all the way from Stoke. And she's right down here by the very enchanting floor design there. Hello, Susan. Hi,
Hello.
Susan. What's your question?
If you could choose, what would you be? A vampire and a werewolf or a zombie?
Right, Leslie, werewolf, vampire or zombie?
Well, vampires are very sexy, aren't they? I quite fancy doing that. But actually, I'm a bit more Crufts myself, so I'll probably stick to the werewolf. Not least of all, because I think American Werewolf in London was one of my all-time favourite films, and I'd like to transform. I probably haven't I, Paul, already?
No, I think you'd be an incredibly glamorous vampire, but I've thought about this a lot, and I think although it's attractive to be a vampire, that's much more of a lifestyle choice when you think about it. If you're a werewolf, it's only 3 or 4 days a month, okay? And then the rest of the time you're out in the daylight, it's fine, you can go about your business. Whereas if you're a vampire, you never see sunlight again, so definitely for me, definitely werewolf as well.
Right.
Or we could hitch up.
Yeah.
Werewolf and werebitch.
And what's the bitch wearing?
Thank you, good question. Lovely. And what about you, Kate? What's your question?
What can we hope to see in this final night of Most Haunted Live Halloween?
Oh, let's try to
Well,
get something out of them. Leslie?
Only so much we can tell you, for obvious reasons. But what I do know is for many people in this audience, some of whom may not be believers, I think they might change their mind by the end of tonight, because the experiments are designed to bring the greatest stimulation you can imagine, both to the mind and body, to prepare you to see things from behind the great veil.
And we love a bit of stimulation on Halloween, so keep watching till midnight. It's going to be fantastic.
Give it up for Kate and Sue. And it's also time for Leslie to go and rummage amongst her history books and Paul to prepare himself for the big investigation which starts at 9 here on Living. So thank you, Leslie Smith and Paul Ross. Right, time for us to take another break. We'll be back very shortly with more from Most Haunted Live, Village of the Damned.
We tend to dress up and do a fancy dress Halloween. It just brings a different element to it. A lot of the people that come to the party are Most Haunted fans as well.
Hi, my name's Liz Thomas, I'm from Rail, and my pumpkin's all about witches and ghosts that my 3-year-old daughter picked.
Welcome back to Most Haunted Live. It is the big night. It is Halloween, and our investigation is literally minutes away. At 9 o'clock tonight, the team will be spread amongst this 130-acre site, full of dilapidated buildings, beautiful buildings, though sadly left to rack and ruin. Many of the roofs are missing. The elements have literally been coming in on us, the audience and the crew, during the week. It is an extraordinary place. Such a shame it's in such a state. But tonight, the investigation team will be out there in those buildings with more to come at 9. Now, fans, you are wonderful. The people who love the show, the people in the audience here, and you at home. We've once again made another film about Most Haunted Live fans. Couldn't do the show without you. Have a look at our 7th Most Haunted Live fan film.
Hi, I'm Jane. I'm from York, and I love Most Haunted. I think it's the best programme on television.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you guys. Well, you've just been talking, Karen. I don't want to say anything after the vet's name being called.
I do a party every year, a Halloween party. I get loads of decorations up, get some food on, I make quite a wicked punch. Wonderful. We tend to dress up and do a fancy dress Halloween. It just brings a different element to it. A lot of the people that come to the party are Most Haunted fans as well, which makes it more interesting. We tend to end up on the subject about what happened and what's going to happen, and we always discuss what we'd do in a situation if we were an investigation and that happened. I'm really looking forward to this Most Haunted Live. It's 7 days of pure joy. I'm hoping they're going to get more happening because they've got longer to investigate. They're in one area. I'm looking forward to actually being in the audience in actually where they're investigating, because you can get more of a sense of not being separated from the crew as they're investigating. You know that they're nearby and you know that they're going to be in the same building this time. There's more of an atmosphere when you're sat in the audience, definitely. It just makes it feel so much more real.
Yeah, the lovely Jane, who was actually in the audience on Monday night. Jane, thanks for making that film for us. And as I say, if you want to be a fan and in a fan film, you can, because if you actually get in touch and email mhl3@anticsproductions.com, who knows, it could be a film about you and your friends turning up on our next Most Haunted Live show here in the UK. Now, it's time to catch up with another member of the team. He sits next to Leslie. He's been sitting next to Leslie all week. He was on the show last night. It's welcome back to Master of the Dark Arts and Demonologist. Yes, it's Fred Batts! Lovely to see you, Fred.
And you, Julian.
And the big night has arrived.
The big night's here.
Yeah.
First of all, I know we get a lot of pagans watching this show, and I'd like to say Happy Samhain, or Samhain as some people pronounce it. Because it's the beginning of the pagan new year, and that's what's special about tonight. Tonight, the veil between the two, our world and the world of the dead, is at its thinnest. So tonight there should be a lot of things happening. Also, over the course of the week, the energy that's been picked up in this building from the amount of audience we've had over the week, we've had nearly 5,000 people altogether. So that energy, and also the energies created by Yvette and Brian, it should come to a major climax tonight. I think it'll be quite good.
And Halloween, I mean, you said a bit there, quite a bit about the significance of Halloween and with paganism and so on. It's obviously now turned into an institution and a celebration as well. How do you see all that?
It's okay if people want to do that sort of thing. There's no harm in it. But originally it was the celebration of the new year, and All Hallows, Halloween. That's the way it all started, really.
Right. Is it? If you weren't here, what would you be doing?
Sitting at home watching you.
Good answer. But I mean, seriously, without watching.
No, I'm not a pagan, so I'm not anything really.
Right. Now, how would you feel? Obviously, Paul went out on the investigation earlier in the week. How would you feel about going out on the investigation?
I'd love to, yes. I mean, especially here, as I say, with the energies that are built up here, you won't just get the witches from this area. It'll draw witches in from all around, probably miles away even, because of the energies building up here, climaxing in tonight. So I would expect a few things to come in from further afield than just here. Maybe Anglesey, where the Druids were. The Romans came in, killed the Druids. The Druids moved towards this way, going towards England, and then moving up to Scotland. So they would have probably been here in the forests here, which were yew trees and oak trees, which they would have worshipped and also did sacrifices there. So there's a lot of energy going to be here this evening.
It's going to be a night, isn't it?
It's going to be a very good night. I'm pretty sure it will.
Should I say Happy Halloween to you, Fred?
No, you can say Happy Samhain.
Happy Samhain.
Yeah.
Fred Batt, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, Fred, and more from Fred later on in the show. The main investigation is coming up at 9 o'clock right here on Most Haunted Live, Village of the Damned. Don't you dare go away.
There is a suggestion around the building itself, but something's being, it's almost as though something's being kept at bay outside.
Hello, my name's Mark Jones. I'm from Stone in Staffordshire. This is my pumpkin, Nobody.